Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the James and Oris Show.
Yep.
My name is James.
My name is Oris. I think.
So yes, as usual, I will tell you, subscribe to our channel, comments, tell us what you think about the last. Did you even watch the last one? Did you even look at you? You have not watched anyone. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Guys,
exactly.
Please, this is the only way you can encourage us. We love this. I mean, but your encouragement will take us to the next level. So guys, subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends, and you know, more or less critique us. That's what we do. So but go ahead, feel free, let us know what we're doing wrong, let us know what we're doing right. You have to encourage us, and subscribe, very important. So what do we have today, Oris?
Yeah, I think the first thing we have is the big fat news. Wizkid, if you are to believe him, he has said he's going on a tour with Davido. It's like two kings are appearing on stage together, and hopefully with no rancor. I mean, because of course, as everybody knows, 30BG and Wizkid FC are crazy people online. So, but the man himself has said that we should get our, how did he put it? I think he said we should get our coins ready. He doesn't want to, no one yep him. So yeah, so I'm not quite sure. There's no date yet. There's nothing firm.
They said after his MLL.
Yes, after his More Love, Less Ego tour. Which, by the way, I heard that he had cancelled 2 events because of low ticket sales.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if it's true.
I don't know, but
yeah,
I know that one is happening in is it Tottenham Stadium or Sport? One of the big stadiums in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw something about him cancelling 2 shows somewhere on. I'm not even sure. I can't remember the source anymore. But I saw that, so I was like, okay, maybe it's not quite going as well as anybody thought. But to be fair, anyway, I don't think More Love, Less Ego has been as successful as Made in Lagos. So, but then Wizkid has been on top for like more than a decade or about a decade. So,
do you also think that it's just because it's too now, like you said, the timing and stuff? But because he probably had one not so long ago, concert in London.
How do you mean? You mean for the Davido tour, for the
More Love? It's More Love. You know, we're talking about him casting one of the concerts in one of the shows. So I'm wondering,
maybe maybe it's too, or maybe they've seen him too.
Yeah, maybe okay. We saw
overexposure, but yeah, but I think, was there a Made in Lagos? I'm sure there has to have been a Made in Lagos tour, right? So maybe you are right. Maybe that's what's happening. But I guess for these guys, the idea is there's an album out. You have to promote that album. Yeah. And the way they do it is like, at least one of the ways they do it is by going like on several tours across venues. Yeah. So I just saw that okay, 2 of the venues were cancelled because of low ticket sales. So not confirmed. So I don't really know.
Because that's what I was coming to that.
So it's not like he's not the one that put it up, of course. It was somebody else who had put it up, who had, in fact, I think the person who did it, okay, I don't remember, was somebody on my Facebook, I think, put up the whatever and showed like a sign like this had been cancelled because of low ticket sales. So I don't know. I think it was an Eventbrite or some one of these online platforms. But in any case, that's not the big news. The big news is that Davido and Wizkid are going on a tour. And for people who are big fans of Nigerian music, this is probably as big as it can get, without including the third guy in the Trinity, Burna Boy, that is. Exactly. Who is probably too arrogant, too divisive to join.
No, calm down. Let's not put it like that. So first of all, let's understand that this kind of, I mean, if Wizkid and Davido are going on tour together, it might have been facilitated by a promoter. I feel like some people have come together to drop a bag of cash to say, guys, I'm paying you guys this to go on tour together. Let's make it happen. And then they'll look at how much is involved. Because I feel like it's strictly business.
No, I'm not arguing that. My point is that the promoter could have as well said, instead of Davido, let it be Burna. Instead of Wizkid, let it be Burna.
No, leave Burna. Burna is one party entirely. Don't forget
everybody's one party entirely.
No, exactly. I know, but leave Burna. So when it comes to this, is what we're talking about here is Burna, Wizkid and David. Wizkid and Davido have been on this now. Like I was saying on radio earlier, that it may not be directly like not one-on-one beef, but there's this cold war going on, especially with the fans as well. You know, because on several occasions, both of them have granted interviews and answered questions saying that they don't have anything against each other. Don't forget one time, that's last time, one time that Davido, Wizkid had a concert in Lagos that Davido came up on stage.
I was right there. I saw that. I was there.
Thank you. And they were, you know, it was a happy. People were very happy to see. You know, I was saying as well that this Wizkid and Davido concert is something that we've been waiting for forever.
Wait now, calm down. Wait now. I feel like you are none of what you said is wrong.
Okay.
It's entirely true, but you are. It seems to me like you are downplaying Burna Boy.
No. So wait, before you drop
Boy's
that line as well. So what I'm just saying is that somebody is putting this together.
Yes.
And the person has picked David and then
and I'm sure that person could have easily picked Burna Boy too.
No, how much do you have now?
That's what
Burna Boy.
That's what I'm saying.
Burna Boy is probably the highest paid or demanding artist.
So now you're getting to what I was talking about. I was saying that the man is probably too big and too arrogant to want to join.
They'll still bring him back. I'm sure. So let me tell you the kind of with this David and Wizkid not necessarily going on tour together, but Wizkid has had stuff with has had this concert where he brought Burna Boy on stage, right? Or where Burna Boy joined him on stage. But we've never really had like that magnitude of concert where Wizkid and David are performing together. So
as I say on Twitter,
maybe we should have David and Burna Boy tour. Then that would be a big deal too.
That's what I'm saying. So it's easy
not
for
three
me.
of them together. I mean, this is where you're going.
On the one hand, yes, it can be the three of them. On the other hand, it can also just be Burna Boy and somebody else. But I'm saying that the fact that whoever promoter is thinking about, or this is what we are getting, Davido and Wizkid, it just seems to me to be like there's something about Burna Boy that just people are thinking, maybe you think twice, or it just doesn't work out that it's Burna Boy who is going to pair with one of these guys. As we know,
what if Burna Boy doesn't want to even go on tour with
that's what I'm
Davido?
saying now. That's kind of the point I'm making here.
Okay.
Because if, to be honest, if Burna Boy was to do something with Davido, it would be as big as Wizkid and Davido. We know that. Especially in fact, they even be bigger because of the clear animosity both of them have towards each other. And then suddenly, on one particular night, you have these two arch enemies on stage.
Okay.
Big,
always. Let me tell you another thing I'm also looking at. I thought should happen as well. A Wizkid Davido song collaboration, even before a concert, tour, joint tour.
This one has been teased for years. Back when I was still West Africa editor for a music website, I think it was Davido. I can't remember now. We had an interview or something. Either Wizkid or Davido, one of them anyway. This chat said, I think it was Davido who had said that that there's supposed to be like an album actually. And recently when he did the interview with Ebuka last year or 2 years ago, he also said that they had like a meeting that's supposed to be like a song, a tour, whatever it is with Wizkid, but somehow it didn't quite materialize. So that one has been teased for a while. The truth of the matter is I don't really think heavily that a song by Davido and Wizkid would necessarily turn up anything. Right?
No,
honestly, I don't feel that way at all, to be honest.
Just for the culture, you know?
No, I don't know. I feel like I don't know about a Michael Jackson and Prince song, for instance, and they were like the two big black guys back in their day. So I'm just like, I beg these things. I'm not really a big fan of whatever.
Can we even say?
But the concerts, that one I think everybody will look forward to. And if, by the way, somebody had enough money to to put the three of them together, bro, so that person will just go with a sackload of cash.
Okay, always let me tell you,
Three Kings store.
Still on collaboration.
Yeah.
Would you say the Wizkid and Burna's collaborations? I mean, they did Ginger
and
Ballon d'Or. So would you say those songs were really
and their songs, by the way, there's another one the two of them have, by the way.
On whose album?
Burna Boy's first album, yes.
Yes, I can't remember this.
Don't Run. Oh no, my salon.
Yes, that one. So do you think, but I mean, so far,
I think Olamide was also on that song.
Would you say that those songs have actually that they were iconic?
In fact, sorry, there's another one. In fact, they've had like 4 or 5 songs. Yes, because on his second album, which wasn't very good.
Which one?
Yes, on the Spaceship. Yes, that album also had. I think it was either Single Girl or Sample. That's one of the. So there was a Burna Boy and Randy Cole song. There's a Burna Boy and
Wande and
Wizkid song. Yes.
Is it Wande and Wizkid? 2 of them on the song. 3 of them on
the
song.
No. Two different songs. Burna, Wande, Burna, Wizkid. But I think Wande too also had a Burna Boy song on his own album. Yes. So second one too.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, that song too wasn't quite great. So yeah, I think the best song both of them have, which is a good thing to think about actually. What's been the best song that has had Wizkid and Burna Boy on the same track.
It would have been Ginger.
Ginger is probably, in my view, Ginger is probably number 1 or number 2. But that's one they have on the first Burna Boy album. What's the name of the album? Life, Living. What did they call it?
Oh, Life.
Yeah, Life. It was an acronym.
Okay. For
eternity. Living something for eternity. Anyway, whatever it is, that particular the song on that one, I think I've always loved it. So in my view, number 1 and number 2, in whatever order, is Ginger and that song. I don't really think highly of Ballon d'Or. It's just like a throwaway song, like people were just freestyling and just, you know, let's just give people this. So the one on the Burna Boy album is very, very passable too. Just very, nobody remembers the song, to be honest. So yeah, so yes, I don't really think heavily when 2 heavyweights come together to make a song. I don't think that the chemistry is really produces something that's super great. For instance, I think even on the Made in Lagos album, I think it would be difficult for people to say, you know, the best song on the album is Ginger. The one with Tems, of course, was the bigger hit anyway, you get? And so, and that was Tems, who was pretty much relatively unknown at the time that song was released, you know, and it's a bigger song than the one that have one or two of the 3 heavyweights in Nigerian music on it. So I think there's something about that. I think, anyway, so that we don't, the problem is that these guys, Davido and Wizkid and Burna Boy, talking about them kind of overwhelms everything else. So let's just, it's enough. Well, let's just let it go. Funke Akindele and a bunch of people, as everybody know, well, I think that some people know, are contesting for are going to be contestants for the upcoming elections. And the AGN, the Actors Guild of Nigeria, has said that you people who are in Nollywood should come and support your people. And you know, it's not funny to me, not funny anyway. I understand it, this idea of like, let us support our own. And I think that Nollywood, maybe even entertainment generally, but especially Nollywood, because I don't think people in the music business have really thought about politics in a while, because there's a lot of money swimming around music, so people are not really thinking a lot about the political context that they belong to. However, Nollywood there's money in Nollywood, but of course I don't think anybody can compare the sheer amount of financial rewards that seems to these guys. Iresta shows up like last year on Malay, like how many years ago? Suddenly they are like big boys all over the place. Comparable, there are people who have been in Hollywood for years who haven't quite cracked the financial freedom, even anything close to it. So I think that maybe for that reason, or just because it's TV and so we see them a lot of the time, they have been thinking a lot about politics over the past few years. And of course, currently there's a number of them who are contesting. There's Funke Akindele, there's Tonto Dike, who I'm not sure she's acted in a while, but she's still an actress. That's how some people still know her.
Hilda Dokubo,
Femi Branch, the Yoruba, well, also like the regular English Nollywood actor as well. So there's just a number of them who are contesting. And now, ADN is like, Nollywood people, come and support your own. What do you think, James?
Well, it's okay to solicit. I mean, if you're doing something, if you're running for office, Oris is my guy. I'll say, guys, support Oris, you know.
Vote for me.
However, I also believe, I mean, beyond just saying, vote for somebody or support your own, I believe that democracy is a thing of choice, or especially when it comes to elections, it's a thing of choice, personal conviction. I'm saying people should look at it from the perspective of personal conviction. Be sure that you are voting for this person because you believe that person is going to perform, or because you believe or anticipate that the person is going to do the right thing. Okay.
Yes, there's the right thing, but there's also the thing that is right for you. So I think that for Nollywood saying this, what the thinking is behind this, asking people to vote for
how it's going to affect them.
Exactly. And so they are like, okay, if there needs to be, for instance, if I mean certain states in the US or certain parts of the world, if you shoot a film in the area, you might get tax breaks. You know, so you don't have to like pay tax on certain amounts of money and stuff, or certain box office returns. So, or there's like an enabling environment. But today in Lagos, for instance, if you were to shoot a Oshodi, for instance, you might not get protection if the area boys wanted to like harass you or say, you know what, pay money or whatever it is, and that's like extra money that you probably have not budgeted for in your production costs. So I think that this is something that if Nollywood managed to get itself into the positions of power, they could make policies that would benefit them. So yeah, so there's something that might be good for everybody, which is probably what you're looking at. But we're also in a world where people are also thinking about what is in it for me as a person. And I don't know that a country as poor as Nigeria, you can ever really count on the public good.
Absolutely, and I so much agree with that as well, because it still boils down to, you know, personal, that's impersonal. And because they always say in politics that there are no permanent enemies but permanent interests.
Permanent interest.
So it's about what you are going to benefit from that situation. So yes, for AGL, perhaps Funke Akindele in Lagos State will be beneficial to them if she, you know, if her party gets to win Lagos State. But outside that, I also feel like, I mean, if you look at a party like when this guy was in power, Jonathan, it was during Jonathan's time that he had that whole the funding thing that he did.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, exactly. But that didn't even quite go well. You know what, Nollywood, I mean, if you are familiar with the industry from the inside, it's a very, like everything else in Nigeria, it's a very wonky thing, because I think that one of the major films that came out from that whole Jonathan influx of like heavy cash was not even a very good film, to be honest. And you know, there's a difference between, like, okay, it's not a very good film, but the film does well financially. This was one of those cases where both of them were flawed. Not a good film, people don't even remember the film anymore. And at the same time, it's not like it's even set the box office on fire, you know. And so it just feels like, okay, you lost here, you lost there. And so yeah, it means that there's beyond the influx of cash, beyond putting money or spraying money at something, you also have to think about what exactly do you want to achieve and how do you go about achieving this thing, you know. Because yes, as Jonathan's time showed us, it's not enough to just give Nollywood money. There has to be a lot more than just handing that money to these guys.
Anyway, besides that, I mean, we use this opportunity to tell everybody that you should get your PVC if you don't have a PVC.
Exactly.
And not just having PVC, but also coming out to cast your vote and, you know, doing the right thing for yourself and for the collective interest of the country. We just need to come out and vote, not just about just talking and just saying, oh, support, or you know, Nigerians, leaders need to do better and blah blah blah. But it's important that we also come out and vote and, you know, collectively make that decision to put the right person in power. Yeah,
you know, speaking about this, I don't think that the process has been made easy for people to even do that. I think there's something about, I don't think it's decentralized enough, but I mean, it's not a political show, but I feel it's important to us. Let's just talk about it briefly. I think that for people who registered in a certain space and who over the past 4 years, or when they did the last registration, which much have moved, it almost feels like impossible for you to understand, okay, what are you supposed to now do to get your PVC if you registered in a different, some of us were living in Nasarawa, living in wherever, and now you're in Lagos, or you live in Lagos, now you are somewhere else, you get. How do you even go about this? The INEC materials on like how you solve this problem, which is a real problem, have been totally, almost like either it's impossible to find, or it's couched in language that you're not quite sure what is supposed to happen. This is minus the practical thing of actually going there and having to wait for hours. I know that around my area, to register, people show up by like 5, by 6, by 1 p.m. nothing has still happened. You know, so the processes, you know, they make these things so difficult, and it really shouldn't be. So I mean, I don't know who this is to be honest, but I just feel like, you know what, it needs to be said. So if you do, do get your PVC, and if you do get your PVC, please vote.
Okay, we have 2 more stories to go. One from the movie angle and the other from the music angle. So which one should we go for?
Yeah, let's go for the film. Okay. So apparently, big news, at least for people who like Marvel. People. Exactly. for both sides. I think actually my own view is more for Hollywood, because I think they've been robbed in quotes, of some revenue that they probably should have had. So I think since 2018 or 2019, there's been a ban on, like, is it a ban? Let's say a ban on lockdown thing? I'm not even sure what exactly the political stuff was, but China hasn't showed a Marvel movie in years, and that seems to be coming to an end. So of course it means that, I wonder if this means that this Black Panther movie that just came out will show.
No, I think that's what will happen, because it actually gives them credence to Marvel, that Marvel films will... No,
I know, but I'm saying that, but it's out already, so it's still in cinema for some places, so maybe...
I feel like it's...
So I just think it will give them an opportunity to actually like make some more money. I think it has already crossed the 1 billion mark. What's the word now? Worldwide, I think. Global box office, I think. Even over here, it crossed 1 billion naira like a few weeks ago, actually. So it's been super successful. So, and everybody knows that China has numbers. I think that's a fact.
Absolutely.
That's a fact of life and fact of business.
Yeah.
China has numbers, and if you are a global business like Disney, and Disney of course owns Marvel, you want to be able to like have a chance to, at least to get some of that Chinese revenue, because of course it's going to boost your bottom line. Yes. So yeah, so big news for Chinese fans of Marvel who can see it on the big screen, although I'm sure they probably figured out that was
yes.
But yes, and at the same time, big news for Marvel that can now say, you know what, some of our titles would get a lot more money, because we're thinking about it. Things like Avatar, for instance, which I think has shown or showing in China as I think last time I checked was like about 1.8, 1.9. Oh, really? It has done better than the Spider-Man movie. This was in the top 7 or top 5 at the time, just a few weeks ago. At the same time, anyway, it looks like it's going to really clear a bunch of records. So I think they have China on their side. So let's see what happens if these guys too, if Marvel too gets China on their side,
a bit of the cake,
exactly,
right?
A bit of the Chinese. You know, but this is why, as Nigeria, we need to get our act right. You know, because it's a thing when you have that kind of numbers, and the country does well enough that people can have disposable income to go and pay for whatever amount of $2, $1, $5, whatever it is, to watch a film at the cinemas. You can control something. So for instance, when Mulan, the remake of Mulan showed up, not the cartoon, they did a remake, the live one. You know, where when they did that particular remake, China wasn't happy about certain parts of the original cartoon that we saw when we were younger, and so they asked them to, anyway, not like they asked, I guess Disney just, you know, they had to alter a few things just to appease the Chinese audience, so the film could show in China. So you get, so my point is that when we have whatever complaints, there was a film, District 9, from years ago, done by a South African guy who went to live with Sharlto Copley, and okay, or Neil Blomkamp actually. Anyway, there was an alien, I think, called Obasanjo, and there was just this idea that a lot of the subtext of the film was like criticizing Nigerians for certain kind of things that, you know, how South Africans feel about us anyway. And there was an outcry, but nothing really will change. If there was going to be a sequel of that film, and I think there was a rumor about a sequel at some point, it's going to be a sequel of that film, or another film going to take the same idea of like demonizing Nigerians, there ain't nothing anybody over here can do about it, because end of the day, your local box office doesn't affect the bottom line enough for them to be able to say, let's consider Nigeria.
They
you know, economic might is right. So yeah, it will be good one day, because we have crazy numbers as well. But the problem is that our crazy numbers are not as rich as the crazy numbers in China.
When converted, how much are you gonna are they getting back?
You get exactly not enough screens. Not the disposable income is too low, and most people cannot afford to go and pay 3K, 5K to see a film. So you know, so yeah, tricky. I think the other day I went with someone to the IMAX screen in Lekki, I think we paid almost like 20K. Think about that. That is not the average Nigerian. 20K is probably the average Nigerian income for a month, and you need to go and pay for whatever you get. So anyway, yeah, so we need to figure out how that would work. But what do you think about these Chinese people finally getting to see?
I mean, you said it all already. I mean, it's just basically more money for everybody involved, and also Marvel movie. I mean, you can imagine how some of the movie fans will be feeling when they read reviews, when they see reviews out there, when they see even trailers and stuff, and they're wondering, okay, so we can't even get to watch the full movie, you know. But now, if it's coming back to their community or coming back to their country at the cinemas, I don't believe that there'll be excitement as well.
Yeah. You know? So anyway, there is what's it called? A big festival. Well, big in relative terms. It's not Coachella. Lovers and Friends, and they are bringing some of the old school guys and some of the new school guys to perform sometime this year.
Looks like it's put together by Usher Raymond.
Is it put together by him? I'm not even sure.
Or just hosting? Because the last one was hosted by him.
I don't know if he has money in it or if he's like the face in it or anything. But I think apparently he's kind of like the host. So anyway, there's apparently Missy Elliott is supposed to be there. And of course, if you are from a generation, you know Missy. Get your freak on. Anyway, and there is Chris Brown, who is like more feeling school. There's apparently going to be 50 Cent, going to be Mariah Carey. So just like, you know what, all of us 90s kids can come and groove, and the people who are more Chris Brown-ish generation too can also come and
tap into it.
So I think it's such a great combination. The thinking, of course, is like, what will happen if that is Nigeria?
Who are the artists that
who are the people that you can call from the 90s who you think would bring a crowd, a certain kind of crowd that people from the past 10 years, exactly,
now connect to it. Now I've been definitely
not connect. I feel like the thing is like you're trying to intersect between two generations. Exactly.
Yes.
Bring people who would want to see 90s stars there, and bring people who want to see the newer stars there as well.
I mean, I think here it's not so difficult because we'll see.
Well, who are the artists? Tell me the artists.
We'll have P-Square, absolutely. We'll have the Plantation Boys. Definitely.
No, you won't have Plantation Boys.
We'll have Plantation Boys. I mean, I'm saying Plantation Boys because we'll have to, but still we can't even do Two-Face if you're bringing back the 90s without Plantation Boys, no matter how you look at it. What's it called? I mean, let's say you even put just Two-Face on the bill, but Two-Face will still want to, because what the 90s feel that he's trying to give us back is that Plantation vibe.
And to be fair, it's not when it's 90s, 2000s, but that's fair. That's the same time as I Miss You.
Do you understand? I mean, then we are talking about Tribesmen as well.
Who?
The Tribesmen. The Tribesmen.
James is just calling names from his memory. Who's going to come for what? To watch Tribesmen? Let me hear.
From the night, if you're talking about us,
Star Plus,
we'll still go back to we'll still want to believe. How did we even get to where we are today?
If they said that there was a Tribesmen concert happening today at the hotel, you go?
Never ever a Tribesmen concert. We are not even talking about all of these people we're talking about now. Are people that they have to join forces to make it happen. But if you want to look at, I mean, if we still talk about the history of where we are today when it comes to the Afrobeat music and the evolution of our
I'm not arguing about these people's importance. So I'm talking about, look, if you're a promoter, you're thinking about what you're going to pay these people and what they're going to add in terms of like numbers. I'm telling you now that, do you think is a worthwhile thing for a businessman to say, Tribesmen, Combo, the people are like 8, or maybe the 3 original people, okay, the 3 of them, you bring, the 3 original of them.
You're not only putting Tribesmen, we're putting all of these memories together. The Tribesmen, we don't leave out the remedies, we have to bring all of them together. Some of them are going to be major, some of them are going to be minors. So, but you can't just say,
and they'll be minors.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you can say they are minors.
Minors.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I don't understand the point. But you are just not going to just relax and say, no, don't try. No, come on, man. There's shake body. There's whether you like them, there's plenty things. Come on, man. Respect the Tribesmen, man.
I'm not disrespecting them. I'm only saying that.
I mean, it's only proper that you have them.
You are
going to have them there too.
People who, if you are the person who's creating this show, and of course thinking about the money as well, you need people who, if I'm giving them each of these artists 2 million, I'm giving Tribesmen 2 million for the 3 of them. That is, I'm giving Star Plus 2 million as well, and my ticket fee is 50k. You want people who, there's enough people who are paying 50k to get you to 10 million, so that you can take 6 million out of that 10 million to give the people who are acting, so you can get your 4 million balance. My point is, I do not know now that you will see enough people to generate that 10 million. That's all I'm saying.
Bro,
think about it, James.
Let me tell you.
Think about it,
Look
James.
at a Pasuma who had that record with Remedies back in the days. Pasuma, because I'm still saying that if you're going to do this thing, and let's also forget that sometimes, even with the way we call these prices, you might want to have a Tribesmen there. No, it's not compulsory that you must have a Tribesmen there, but it would have been nice if you have that. And then sometimes you can just make an offer and then you see that these guys will show up. Sometimes the amount that we think that will affect the promoters in terms of how much they're paying to these people might not necessarily be what it is. Sometimes they tell them to come and support, because a lot of people want to be part of that thing and they'll be willing and happy to come and be part of it, So, but if you're having that kind of old school gathering or those kind of old school events, there's no, I mean, I'm talking about Daddy Shoki, I'm talking about Baba Frayo, I'm talking about Marvelous Benji. These are the, if you really want to have that kind of, have a complete feel of those things. I'm not
going to argue this. I am sure that yes, the people want to listen to this music. I just don't know whether they want to leave their houses to listen to this music. That's all I'm saying. But let it go.
That's why I said not the young. But now we still said that for the newer generation. And let's look at how they threw in Chris Brown in the mix.
Yes, now,
to just sort of bring. That's the same way you can also still throw in even a Wizkid.
Yes, now
from Pakruma, from
My point is just that if you throw in a Wizkid, for a fact there's enough people that will come and see Wizkid to join you to be worth it financially for you. You probably will make, I don't know, 200 million and you pay Whiskey 150 million to that 200 million. Everybody is fine. My point is, like, after that core audience that's coming from Whiskey, everything else, everybody else you add to it is probably going to be the mission returns. Your 50 million that you have saved from Whiskey, though, that's what you now go and use to pay people who otherwise should bring their own audience. And that's what I'm saying, that in terms of business sense, I don't know about it. So people that can do it are like maybe brands. But for like a show promoter who is thinking about bottom line to do this kind of thing, okay, think something else. But anyway, before we go, there's an MJ biopic that's supposed to be with, I think that's getting to work on it currently. There's the announcement that is coming. Antoine Fuqua, who's by the way who's just done something with Will Smith, and might not get the Oscars that he's actually looking for, because of course the Will Smith controversy from the slap with Chris Rock last year. So there's that whole thing. But apparently he's doing a Michael Jackson biopic. Good news, that is for all of us who are fans, but also for me especially cautious news, because I don't know, Hollywood over the past few years has kind of turned in a very not very kind way towards Michael Jackson and his legacy. So a lot of I think the last major thing that happened with visual entertainment and all visual stuff and Michael was the documentary Finding Neverland, which was mostly about MJ's reputed alleged dalliance with kids. Not a good look, and if not because MJ is just MJ, frankly, he would have been cancelled posthumously. Some people probably have cancelled him posthumously, but he's just too famous, you know, that it's difficult that you can entirely erase people's memories of this guy and replace it with this particular information, which, to be honest, some of us had heard about even way before. But that documentary did bring things that some people, details of it that people didn't know, and some people were convinced by, some people were not. That's the truth about it. So it's still a debate about it. But the fact that Hollywood like lets that whole thing like go, and some media people really took it seriously, means that if you're a fan of MJ, you should be happy but also worried as to what version of this story are you going to see, you know, in the biopic. And I was telling them on radio earlier that there are two things about this that I feel like it might be a very hard watch for if you're a big deep fan of MJ. The two things that are most pronounced since MJ died in 2009, I believe, is one, the fact of his death, which was not in a very nice way, to be honest. There's drugs involved, there's the thinking that the doctor killed him, there's the overdose thing, like he was on drugs, and for all of that, you know, as well as the documentary, which was specifically about like I said, his reputation with kids, or his, what's it called, my relationship with kids. So the combination, I don't think does, you have to just be worried if you're a fan. So I want it to be good, but I really like MJ, you know, so I have a thinking that, you know what, I want the biopic to be respectful of a man who was incredibly impactful while he was here.
That'll be all for the show. James Salas here. Oris there.
Oris, exactly.
We'll see you guys on the next one. Please subscribe, comment, let us know what you think about the show.
Exactly.
Your comments on everything we talked about
today.
Like,
share, please.
Your comments on everything we talked about today will be nice as well. So,
if you disagree, if you agree,
yes, please, let us know. See you on the next one. Peace.